Hello, people of YouTube. I am the Grim Reaper 1, and I'm going to do a show to you of what's in the new test server 8.10. Now, if you want to get onto this test server, it's pretty hard to get on because the queues have been over about 25,000 people wanting to just join test server 1 and 2. So I had to wait for a little while to actually try and get in. But I'll show you the first little difference, what's not just the Japanese tech tree. As you can see, the low now has an extra 20 millimeters hull armor on the side and 20 millimeters top armor, so it's a bit harder for artillery to now actually penetrate and do more damage. What is more better, because I like the low a lot and it's a good tank. But well, let's just go straight into Japanese tech tree. First we have the Renault OTSU for tier 1, and first impressions is it looks pretty weird with it having 75 engine power, so it's not the slowest of all tier 1 tanks. It's probably faster than the French, with 30mm hull armor, 30mm side armor and 22mm rear armor, what's pretty angled as well there, so that's probably going to be harder to actually penetrate. The front's angled here, obviously, so that'll probably be harder to penetrate. That looks like a little hatch where the driver might look at that part there. But its gun, its best gun, that is, at tier 1, has an average penetration of 32. That probably will go for every tier 1 in the game, easy enough, and do a damage of 45. But tier 2s, if you get into a tier 2 matchmaking with a like spray gun, as I call it, they'll just go straight for your armor and probably kill you in one magazine. What's not great, but that's how it is really with tier 1 and not the best armor in the world. Right, so I'll go on to the next one, the Type 95 Hargo. This is obviously tier 2. It has worse armor than tier 1, what really doesn't make any sense, but it's a light tank, so these are designed for speed as it goes 40, so less weight equals more speed. And it's not the best. If you get hit by artillery on the top, you might get your tracks blown off because they're not protected like the Churchill. But they're not as bad as this one here. That's just terrible. But with its turret armor's alright. It's 35mm frontal, but it's circular, so you're most likely going to bounce off. Gun mantle will be more. It's got a big commander hatch, what's probably a really easy target for some people. If you can hit this part on the back, you'll probably most likely go through because it's square. It's got square arm on the back and square in the front. So I'd probably say this tank is probably going to be crap for its tier. Definitely not any good. French tier 2 tanks will have more armor than this. That's pretty bad as well. Right, so that's tier 2. So the weight, I think it's actually, yeah, it's lighter than the tier 1 by a bit. But altogether, I'm probably going to hate the tank, and probably most of the people are going to hate the tank. Let's go on to tier 3. This is down the lights, that is, not the mediums. This one is lighter than the second and first. Hull armor is an extra 4mm more on the front. Same on the side and same on the rear. Its turret arm on the front is 30. I think that one's 30 as well. No, it's 35. So it's got weaker turret armor on the front, side and rear. What's terrible. But obviously this one's got more of an angle on the front. That's more likely going to bounce a bit. But if you do get a bounce, then that's lucky. You're probably most likely going to go for this part with it only being 16mm. And the side will definitely go from the rear. The turret, you'll probably bounce off the front. This one hasn't got a commander hatch, what's actually pretty useful, because now that means people can't shoot your big commander hatch like this one has. As you can see, it's big and stupid. This one doesn't have that. Right, so we'll go into, that's tier 3 Japanese. That's lighter than tier 2 and 1, so it'll go faster as it has a speed limit of 50. Tier 4 is a Type 5 Keiho. What? Actually, that it doesn't look that bad. with its gun. It looks like its gun can do damage as a average let's go this way. Has average penetration of 87 and an average damage of 75. It'll go through most things at tier 4. Probably won't be able to, actually, yeah, it'll probably go through the side of a B1 easily, probably not the front of it. But with it being a circular turret, it'll be harder to hit the front of it. With only having 20 meters hull armor there, you'll always get shot there. With having the commander hatch, you'll definitely get shot there. So, but the rear is pretty angled, so you might bounce a couple of shots, but they might bounce into your turret. It all depends on how it is. With it having 16mm side and 12 rear, well, it's definitely not good. And with its turret being 20 side and 16 rear, and the 16 rear on the flat, on the back is flat, and the 20 on the side is flattish, you'll probably get bent. This is probably, I probably won't enjoy this tank either at tier 4, so I don't think I would really enjoy any of the tanks at the start. Let's see about this thing, Chini. Well, just look at it. Why would you make a big body and a small turret? It just seems pointless. It's a waste of a load of materials. This thing has a 30 speed, 30 kilometers an hour. It's pretty bad. But this is actually a medium. What? I can't see it being a medium at all. Well, it's got a hull armor 25 at the front, that's alright. But this is tier 2. This is the medium at tier 2. So it's got 25 there. And the front's pretty angled. You can see its lower cases pretty simply. The back's got its own little spoiler thing. Well, I just call it a spoiler, because why not have a spoiler on the tank? Turret's pretty round, so it'll bounce. It doesn't really have a commander hatch. Don't really know what that triangle part is, but it doesn't have one of them. It's got its machine gun there, which is probably going to be harder to penetrate at tier 2. If you get sprayed in the side and rear by anything with like a spray gun, it'll just go probably straight through and kill you, with only having 190 hit points. And yeah, I probably won't enjoy this tank either, because your tracks will come off pretty simply. If you get hit by artillery, it'll probably be a one-shot for artillery anyway. With it gets a tier 6 radio, what's not bad. Its traverse speed is 38, and its turret traverse speed is 30, so it can move pretty fast. Its fire rate 70.65, that's pretty fast as well. It only gets one turret. It gets 3 types of guns and 2 engines, so it's not the most expensive of all tanks to get, but it's only tier 2 obviously. So next is the Type 95 Chai-Ha, what is exactly the same as the one in the Chinese tech tree, and I think the Chai-Ha was actually Japanese anyway. So I don't really need to say much about that, people already know, except it's brown. It's the only difference. So, and this one here is the Type 1 Chai-He. Is this the one? Yeah, this is the one I changed its gun over, because you can get the best gun, but it's actually a howitzer, and I really don't like howitzers. I see no point in them. And this one's actually a gun that'll probably do damage more, I think. So I would recommend having this gun more than any of the other guns. So there's probably no point researching that gun at all. Let's have a look. So tier 4 medium, it has 50mm hull armor and 50mm frontal turret armor as well. That's not bad, but this part is flat. So that part there is flat, so is that part flat. So that'll get hit. A massive commander hatch, what's stupid. Its side's 25 and its rear's 20. Rear's flat, there's no chance of bouncing anything off that. Rear of the turret is 25, it'll probably be weaker on this commander. This hatch here anyway. Side is flattish if you get him on certain angles. That's 25. Yeah, so it's probably not the best. It has a 350 hit points, which is not bad. 240 horse engine power with 44 speed limit. So I will do the one next, the Type 3 Chai-Nu. What actually looks, when it first looks, it actually looks like a tank what can do damage. Average CS has a tier 5 gun, average penetration 125, oh no 124, average damage is 125. Type, well, tier 5, medium, that's not bad. He'll go through a KV1's weak spots easily. Well, its gun actually looks like he'll do a lot of damage, and it doesn't. But this one can have 4 guns. It can have 2 turrets, 2 engines, obviously one, and you can have a tier 8 radio. That's not bad for its tier. 550 signal range, not bad. 350 view range, not bad. At tier 5 medium. Turret traverse speed 36, not bad. Traverse speed on the bottom's 34. You're probably not going to get circled in this tank a lot, but you don't really need to circle this tank because you just shoot it because it's weak anyway. But yeah, it's nearly 20 tons, so if it gets the speed, and it can do the ramming damage as well if it has the speed, because it's nearly 20 tons. If it gets 38.8 speed limit, it can do some ramming damage, and with it being how it is, you'll probably kill them after you ram them by shooting them. But yeah, that's the first load of Japanese tanks I'm going to do. The next ones I'm going to do is the after the Type 3 Chi-No-Kai, what people got anyway, so I don't really need to do that. There's a Type 4 Chi-2, Type 5 Chi-Ri, STA-1, Type 61 and the STB-1. They're all mediums. So on this one I've covered the Renault OTSU, Type 95 Hago, Type 98 Ki-9, Type 5 Ki-Ho, the Chi-Ni, Type 97 Chai-Ha, the Type 1 Chai-He, and the Type 3 Chai-Nu. So they have mostly the same names, except a little bit different. But yeah, so I've showed you the difference on the low. Also, there's one other difference. Is the German Waffensträger Alpha E100 now its door is actually open. So this is like, this has no armor here, so if you shoot there, it'll be fine, but there's no point shooting there when you can just shoot its turret anyway. But that's just a little difference I've spotted. So yeah, thank you for watching this if you wanted, but I would say try to get in the servers as early as possible, as they'll probably be full up again tomorrow. And it's pretty fun. These new tanks look like they're going to be fun, but I probably won't enjoy them. I'll enjoy some, this one I'll probably enjoy. And I might actually buy the Chi-No-Kai just to see what's the difference. But yeah, thank you for watching my video on the update 8.10, and please rate and subscribe as it will help, and I'll be doing the next video soon. And thank you for watching.